Go. There it goes. Okay, so thank you for joining us. We are here for March 13th or 14th, wherever you are in the world. And today I was going to continue my talk, which I kind of briefly stepped into in our class this week on taking one seat. Sort of started to talking about the importance of having one practice and one teacher. I went pretty deep on it at the end of the class, so people stuck around to the end of the class on that. But I'm going to tailor this talk more to you guys in this class, because I think that if you're here, you've already done that. You've already taken one seat and made that. You've made that commitment to yourself and to your practice. So this talk speaks to you and the way that when difficulties arise, how we can still get distracted and diverted in that way. So is that your adorable dog? I think those pictures were so cute. I'll mute everybody. Those were cute pictures the other day on your Facebook page.
That's what he does on my yoga mat. He lies down on it with his ball. I'm just like, I'm trying to do my yoga, but no, he wants to play.
I don't know how you get any yoga done. Okay, let's see, mute everybody. Yes. All right, so what happens, you're going along with your yoga or your meditation practice, and for argument's sake, let's say you're in a period of flow, okay? And everything's going smoothly, and if you use the analogy of a meridian channel, you have flow. Everything's going along smooth, going downstream. But when we feel discomfort or a threat or tension in our body, in the terminology of traditional Chinese medicine, there's a blockage in the meridian. So you go like this, and then all of a sudden you hit a block. And then what happens is we kind of fall back on old ways of knowing, old ways of being, kind of safe and reliable orientations. And this is really when the importance of staying with one teacher or one practice through difficulties and doubts is most important. Because at this point, when you hit that blockage, it's really easy to go off and say, "Ooh, something's wrong here," and go off and start looking for something else. This is not unlike your meridian channels. So you're going along with your meridian channel, and you have physical dis-ease, mental dis-ease, emotional discomforts, and then there's a blockage along your meridian. And then this blockage creates a diversion. So without the blockage, you've got a smooth path. But when you've got the blockage, there's a diversion, and then all of a sudden you're not taking the most direct route, right? And the same thing happens when you meet a diversion in your practice, and instead of seeing it through, you start looking for other things. You're not actually taking the most direct route, even though it might feel like you are. So each Monday we come here and you listen to the teachings, and then a lot of you say you come back and listen to them again, and then you spend time contemplating the teachings, thinking about how they relate to you in your life. And this is really important. And Sakyam Maitham Rinpoche says, and I love this, it really kind of struck me and it made me laugh, and I felt it related to me very well. He says, if you have karmic predisposition, you really only need to hear the words of the teachings once. But if you're stupid like the rest of us, then you need to hear them at least 20 to 30 times. And I'm a 20 to 30 timer myself before it kind of sinks in. And so we show up each week and we take one seat and we listen to the teachings, and things become more clear, and we follow through on the path. Now, there are many paths of yoga and spiritual awakening. There are many body disciplines. There's lots of forms of meditation. There's therapy. There's self-help. And in the information age, you can really flip from one to the other without exploring any one in any depth. And each one is going to offer you a way to come face to face with your own life. And it's going to help you see a new way of connecting with your mental, emotional, energetic, spiritual bodies. It's going to allow you to know yourself at a deeper level. But each one is also going to require a commitment from you to stop running away from your own life. Each practice will bring you into the present moment with a more clear, a more receptive, a more honest state of consciousness. But you must choose, and you must choose the one that feels right for you in your body. The one that feels right for you in your body might not be one that feels right for somebody else in their body. So even though it may be of enormous benefit to you, it might not be of benefit to somebody else. So I shared with the class this morning that I have a very good friend in spiritual practice. We actually did our yoga teacher training together. We did our yoga therapy training together. And she, since that time, has done a lot of training in a lineage that has a really, really good reputation. And I've seen it transform her in amazing ways. And she recommended it to me too when I moved out here, because there's a Sangha here with this lineage. I intended to start practicing with it, and I did. But it really didn't feel right in my body. And in my opinion, the Sangha here was really actually quite a mess. Nothing to say that lineage is an amazing lineage. It was just that this Sangha here, there were a lot of problems with it. And so it wasn't right for me. But I can see that it has been really right for her. And maybe even this, if I was living in a different place and had access to a different Sangha, that this lineage could be good for me too. So the point is that you'll know when you find your one seat, because it feels right in your body. And since then, even telling her about finding my way and finding my own way, and telling her about the lineage that I'm following now too. She's been she's been excited for me, but she thinks that her lineage is a little better. But I still trust in what I found, and I trust my body that it's the right choice for me. So we're all going to find our own ways that are going to work for us. And they don't have to be, there are many paths, there are many rivers that lead to the ocean. We don't all have to be traveling down the same river. So we make a choice and we commit to it fully as a way of practice. And in this practice, we come deeply into our own bodies. We realize that there's nothing that we have to seek outside of ourselves. And through these practices, we really are uncovering a depth and subtlety of our own embodied experience. Now, when we start to feel shaky and weak, or like things are falling apart, we might feel like something's wrong with us, or like something's wrong with our practice, or something's wrong with the teachings, or something's wrong with the teacher. And we might think that something's wrong with our one seat. And this is when it's really tempting to get up and start looking elsewhere at anything but the falling apart, but the shakiness, but the weakness. But in reality, there's nothing wrong. And in fact, everything is going right, as much as it feels like everything is going wrong. And because meditation is not any kind of mental gymnastics. It's not a project to arrive at some kind of mental state where we're completely peaceful. So what I know that all of you understand here, and I've heard you all speak about so many times, is that when you practice yoga, it's not important to contort your body into any one shape. And the same is true of your meditation practice. When you come to your meditation practice, when you lie down or when you sit up, we're not trying to achieve one particular state of mind. We're not trying to always become peaceful. It's not always trying to clear our mind. It's not about controlling our experience. It's not about arriving at a desired state of mind. When we impose that kind of wishful thinking on our meditation practice. This is called spiritual bypassing. And a true spiritual practice is about transformation. So I'm going to say that again. A true spiritual practice is not about arriving at a state of mind. It's about transformation. It's about affecting change, lasting change in your life. So when you take one seat, you're going to face what's true about your life. And what's true might be that you're in a period of peace and tranquility. But what's true is that you might be in a piece of total shit disturbance. It might be a total shit war going on in there right now. You don't know. It might not be easy right now. And it takes courage to sit in one seat. And when we sit in one seat, we show up to whatever is going to arrive. We connect to the earth underneath us. We fully embody. We come into our bodies. We feel the tension in our body. And we allow the tension to release. And that's what we do. Now, if we're using our meditation practice to search for peace, we're going to bypass any opportunities that are presenting themselves for insight. Insight can be around peace that's available for you, but insight can also be painful. And part of our practice is not judging our meditation sessions. So it's not that the more peaceful your meditation practice, that, well, you know, that was such a peaceful meditation practice, that was a really good practice. That's not how it goes. It's sometimes our meditation practice is going to bring us peace. Sometimes our meditation practice is going to show us the turbulence of our mind. Sometimes our meditation practice is going to bring up painful insights. And when we take that one seat, we are showing a level of trust. We are trusting to whatever is opening, whatever needs to open within us. So we're learning to trust the timing of our bodies. Our body will know exactly when and how to open to what's right for us. And all we have to do is stay open to the tension in our body, be present, feel the support of the earth underneath us. And when we can really be fully present with all the suffering, all the joy, our body is really present to it all. So when we meditate, some great difficulty will inevitably rise. Something that feels insurmountable, something that feels like we can't get past, something that will feel like it's impossible to resolve, like we're never going to get past it. And it's going to be like that blockage in the meridian. And it's going to feel like it's going to be easier to go elsewhere to find the solutions. And it really will be tempting to think that there's something wrong with us, something wrong with the practice, something wrong with the teacher, something wrong with the teachings. But there really is nothing wrong with you. And it is a sign that your practice is actually working, that you're actually coming to a place of transformation where you're going to be breaking through these blockages that are showing up in your lives. And you're coming to this period of transformative change. You're coming to a time of growth. And you're going to be entering into flow again. And it takes time, though. It takes time. And given enough time, you will move past that pain. You will move past that thing that feels like you'll never get over. It will start to unravel itself. And you will be left with incredible insight and a deeper knowing of yourself than you ever thought possible. So what I thought we would do now is a little reflection before we come back together as a group. So if you can sit with your spine elongated, lengthen up through the back of your head, close your eyes to turn inwards, drop your elbows underneath your shoulders, space between your teeth. tongue floating in your mouth. Feel the support of the earth underneath you. And then let yourself rest in your body, rest in the posture that you've created. Then allow your breath to settle just gently on your breath in your belly. Let it rest gently on your breath in your belly. And then reflect on your life, your own life, or a time in your meditation practice, a time when something painful has come up, something that maybe seems impossible, something that seems like it will never resolve. And just notice how that feels in your body. Did it feel like there was something wrong with you? Maybe it felt like there was something wrong with the meditation practice, or you began to question the efficacy of your meditation practice or the teachings. Reflect on how it became a distraction. The reaction is to start looking elsewhere, to start grasping for answers. A kind of anything but this feeling. And then what would it be like to feel into your body and instead explore that unmovable thing, that impossible thing, as a process of transformation, a process of opening, and opening to your growth instead. Notice how that feels in your body. And then feel the support of the earth underneath you. And when you feel ready, you can come back. So I invite you to introduce yourselves, to state your intention for your practice, or to reflect on the teachings or your experience with that reflection, whatever feels most present for you at this time.
From Tea Gardens in Australia, and just sitting there in reflection there, what I feel when I allow something to be really uncomfortable and not having to wall off against it, it doesn't feel great, but there's this spaciousness that comes. And then I realize how exhausting it is to wall off, you know, keep fighting all the time. Like the clarity that comes. It just shifts everything. It's not easy. It's definitely uncomfortable. But just to know that spaciousness and that clarity is there underneath all that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Hi, I'm Maria from New Jersey. My intention for this practice today is just to be at peace with myself for once. Your talk today is really powerful. And as Michelle says, it is when you do allow yourself to feel into that space and just not really judge it and just be at peace with it, it's powerful. I struggle with the stuff that weighs me down all the time. I mean, who I am and finding that my spirituality, finding that inner peace, it's never peaceful. I mean, originally I came to meditation to find peace.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Oops. I didn't realize it was a doorway into something else, but it's a good thing to, to look inward and see what's present and try to fix it.
You make it sound like eating your vegetables, Maria.
I am. It's not easy because sometimes stuff comes up and you're just like, what? What? Didn't I fix it? Didn't I resolve? Didn't I really let that go a long time ago? No.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's just the hardest struggle for me. Is just like, oh, I thought I let that go already, but no, it's still there and it's still present, and making peace with that is the hardest one, I think.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah. So I'm here to find I'm going to see what happens, like Michelle. I'm going to see what happens. Every single one is different. You can't, sometimes I come away refreshed and peaceful, and other days, sometimes it's just, I have like this pressure in my chest that I just can't let go of, and every day is different. But I like to come to my practice every day, and it's helping. It's helping. And I don't need to look around. I found what I most needed. I'm happy with the practice that I have. And sometimes it's not easy coming to my mat, and sometimes it's a lot easier, but I come down anyway and I do my yoga practice and I feel better once I'm done. And so I'm happy where I am.
I think the main thing that I wanted all of you to hear today was that when you come up against these difficulties, that there's nothing wrong with you and there's nothing wrong with your practice.
No.
It's actually a sign that your practice is working. I mean, it would be a bigger issue if you weren't coming up against these things, right? Because then you would be you would be bypassing. Mm-hmm.
It's good to know that we're doing it right then.
Yeah. And you've met those floaters, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and Nikki spoke really, really poignantly last week about how painful it can be actually to be with somebody who's bypassing on such a deep level. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Did you want to check in before we start, Nikki?
Sure. I'm Nikki from Kingston, Ontario, Canada, and I'm on March break. So you probably see me around the membership site more than usual. I always seem to be very active in the site when I'm on holiday.
Nice.
So I'm here because it's time to be here. I've made this commitment to myself, and I've made my commitment to all of you. And it's just, in a way, it is like eating my vegetables or brushing my teeth. It's just what I have to do now, because I know I'll feel better afterwards. And when you were speaking, Melissa, about when you feel like something's not working or it's getting challenging, you have to just trust that. It made me think of what we speak about to students now, but it's good for everybody's just having a growth mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And in education, we talk about how you can be going along just fine, and then something happens and you're in the pit. You're either in the pit or in the dip. Both of those terms are used. And it seems like impossible to get out of that pit. And you try, and nothing seems to be working. So to have a growth mindset is just to say, okay, I can go at this again, and I can do this eventually. Like, you know, it's not my words, but I teach my students, instead of saying I can't do this yet. So I have really frustrated 6-year-olds say to me sometimes, but I'm right, I can't do this yet. It's really hilarious. But, you know, they're right there. Like, at least they're recognizing that they're going to get there, you know? So, anyway, that's just what it made me think of. And, you know, I recognize that it's not always easy. But, you know, in the short time that I've been doing the recordings and been able to come here live, the thing that's really striking me now is the idea when you say the earth rises up to support you. I just find that so comforting, because, you know, I know what it feels like to feel like I'm all by myself. I'm just stranded and I'm stuck, and it's just the way it is, and there's no hope because there's no getting out of the pit, and there's no one who can understand exactly how bad it is. And, you know, so I just find that so hopeful when you share those words with us.
Interesting. I'm actually putting together some words for our leaders right now that we're going to be like a mantra that we'll repeat daily, that we're going to be with for a month, and then we'll bring it to the members a month later. And part of the words are about our relationship to the earth. Our relationship to ourselves, our relationship to each other, and our relationship to the earth. I think it's important to be mindful of those things in a daily way. So it's interesting to hear you say that. You know, to be thinking, to hear these things is important, but then to contemplate them ourselves each day, I think, is important too. Okay, so thank you. Melon, did you want to check in?
I'm in Michigan, and I don't really know what to say. I just feel like there's so much to say. I don't know. I'm just blessed to have this practice with everyone, and I think it's powerful that we're all coming together from all over the world and as a force, and influencing people around us too. So by doing this.
Great. Thank you. So thank you all for checking in. Shall we practice? Your drink looks so refreshing, Nikki. now I have lemon water envy now after my tea, lukewarm tea. We need to pack 2 kinds of drinks for this meditation. Okay, go ahead and lie down. Let's see what happens. So you're lying with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. And you're just finding the most comfortable position for you so that your low back can relax, your neck is relaxed, your pelvis is relaxed, and so that you feel the support of the earth underneath you. So that you can relax into the earth so that your body can settle. And so that whatever tension your body is carrying can be released and surrendered back into the earth. And just take a moment here to feel into your whole body, noticing what stands out, feeling where there might be tension, what's most calling your attention, and allow that tension to dissolve down into the earth, whatever most wants to be released at this time. So knowing that you don't have to hold on anymore, knowing that the earth underneath you is holding you and supporting you. And then you begin in your feet, breathing into your big toes on both sides and both feet. Feeling into both big toes, noticing what sensations are there. Feeling the mass of your big toe, the bottoms, the sides, the top, the hardness of your toenail, your toe bone. Allowing any achiness or pain to come forward. Noticing any subtle or not so subtle sensations. And then notice that the tension changes over time. It begins to relax and dissolve and let go into the earth. And then breathe into your second toe. Begin to uncover the tension in your second toe. Feeling it in the bones, the top of your toe, the sides, the bottoms. Connecting to whatever sensations you find. It might be a little, it might be a lot. Noticing the tension, allowing the tension to shift and change, dissolve and let go. And sometimes the tension will let go in a very noticeable and deliberate way. Sometimes it will let go a little. And in whatever way the tension lets go, just know that that's perfect and exactly what needs to happen today. And then you're coming into your middle toe. Feeling the tension in your middle toe. The tightness along the top, the bottom, the sides. Feeling the tension. Feeling the release of tension into the earth. Knowing that there's no rush. And then your fourth toe. And as you do this, you're developing the neural capacity to feel and sense into your body. And each time you do this, you're opening up those neural pathways. And you spend a lot of time in your feet because your feet maps out the entire body. So by letting go of tension in your feet, you're relaxing your entire body. And then come into your baby toes. Feel the retraction, feel the pulling back, feel the holding. And as you do so, feel how your baby toe wants to lengthen, release, let go. And then come into the ball of your foot, behind your toes, behind your big toe, your second toe, your middle toe, your fourth toe, and your baby toe. Feeling the density, maybe even feeling the numbness. Numbness is a form of tension. And then feeling how that tension begins to shift and change, release and dissolve and let go into the earth. The more you let go and relax in your feet, the more you might begin to feel other parts of your body presenting tension as well. And then there's an invitation to let go of those parts of your body as well. And you can follow this wisdom of your body. Let go in the other parts and then return to your feet. And just notice how your feet will continue to release and let go. Your toes will continue to release and let go. The unraveling continues to happen. Coming to the arch of your foot. So feeling the tension in the arch of your foot, the front, the middle, and the back of your arch. The inside and the outside of the arch of your foot. Feeling the holding on, and know that you don't need to hold on in the arches of your feet. Giving yourself permission to let go. And then feeling that band of tension from your baby toe back to your heel, that line of tension. Letting it dissolve and coming into your heel. Letting the tension dissolve out of your heel. So now your whole foot is relaxing from the interior of your foot, all the bones, all the muscles, all the blood, the fascia, the interior, the sole of your foot, relaxing, releasing, and letting go. The ankle bone on the inside, the ankle bone on the outside, feeling the tension in these bones. Follow that to the interior of your ankle and letting that tension dissolve down through your feet and into the earth. So each time you develop the capacity to feel into one area, to focus into one area, it stays with you. Stays with you throughout your day. The next time you come to your meditation, this felt sensation opens as you begin to develop a communication with your body. So now you're feeling into your shins, your shin bones, the muscles on either side of your shin bones, the interior of your shin bone, feeling into your lower leg behind your shin bones. Let your awareness drop right inside. Feeling the tension and allowing that to dissolve down through the front of your ankle, through your feet, and into the earth. Feeling the lower leg bones, the muscles, the calf muscle at the back of your leg, all the way up to behind your knee and down to your Achilles tendon. Just let it release downwards into the earth. And then coming to your knees, your kneecap, the inside of your knee, the outside of your knee, the interior of your knee. So now your whole lower leg on both sides is completely relaxing, surrendering its tension, checking in on your lower legs from your soles of your feet up to your knees. Letting go of any further opportunities to release. Scanning from your ankles through your lower legs, through your knees, and letting everything go. So you're releasing tension down into the earth And at the same time, the earth is drawing tension down into herself. And then bring your awareness to your buttocks on either side. Feel the clenching and the holding, and know that you don't have to hold on anymore. You can relax. And let your buttocks touch the earth. Feel the sensations in your buttocks. And then come right into your whole pelvic bowl. Feel into the bones of your pelvis. Feel the tension that you're carrying in the bones of your pelvis. Allow the tension there to release. Coming to the tension on the outside of the hips. Letting that tension release, dissolve, and let go. And then feeling the tension through your upper legs, through the tight muscles of the upper thighs, the upper leg bones, the hamstrings at the back, and the inner thighs. Just allow that all to relax, dissolve, release, let go right down into the hip sockets, into the inner thighs, into the pelvic floor, through the perineum. Your tailbone and your pubic bone and your lower belly. Just relax and let go. Allowing your whole lower body to release, relax, let go, and melt into the earth. So now you're coming to your mid-back at the base of your sternum. The bottom of your ribs, feeling their connection to the earth. Just let that energy sink all the way into the earth from the rib cage, the lungs. Allow this area to soften, release, dissolve, and melt into the earth. Then you're coming to the shoulder blades. Feel their connection to the earth. And then follow with your breath into the interior of your upper body, right up to your collarbones, to your upper lungs, to your heart center, to the upper part of your breastbone or your sternum. Feel the tension, feel the holding on. Allow that to come forward. And then to whatever extent possible, allow there to be a softening, like warm water over ice, melting into the earth, through your shoulder blades into the earth. Let your elbows be heavy. Coming into your shoulders, feeling any remaining tension in your shoulders. Let the tension travel down through your shoulders, through your upper arms, through your elbows, down and into the earth. And then coming into your hands, your fingers, your fingertips, the backs of your hands, your palms, the base of your thumbs, your wrists, your forearms, feel the tension. And then let it slide down through your forearms, through your elbows, and into the earth. So now your whole body is relaxing. Your 2 feet, your 2 buttocks, your 2 elbows, and your 2 shoulder blades. And then finally, you're coming to your head. Be aware of the tension on your forehead. Feeling all the lines of tension on your forehead, following that back, the skin of your forehead, the bones of your forehead, your eyebrows, the bones of your eye sockets, your upper eyelid, your lower eyelid, your eyeballs, the backs of your eyes. Your brain, space between your teeth, your tongue is floating in your mouth. Feeling the tension on your brain stem, letting the base of your brain stem relax. The occipital ridge at the base of your skull. Feeling the tension there, allowing it to dissolve down and into the earth. Allowing the back of your neck, the back of your throat to release and to melt. Feeling your whole cranium melt, dissolve, release, let go. The temples soften. Every follicle of hair on your head relaxes and lets go. Your whole face is melting. And now your whole body is melting. So breathe into your whole body. And as you breathe out, let your whole body release, relax, dissolve, and let go. And do that a few times, just breathing into your whole body. And as you breathe out, feel into your body and release any remaining tension. So notice the somatic stillness in your body. And we're going to transition to sitting with this practice now. So find a comfortable seated position. You can either sit on a chair or sit in a meditation cushion. You want to sit in such a way that you can feel the earth underneath you, so that you can feel your buttocks settle and relax into your cushion. You want your pelvis to be higher than your knees so that your pelvis can tip forward slightly. And then you're going to lengthen up through the back of your spine. And through the back of your head. With your elbows underneath your shoulders. And feel the support of your posture. Just notice in your seated position if there are parts of your body that are bracing and tensing themselves. Locate the tension and let go of the tension, just like you did when you were lying down. So you're going to begin to just rock forward a little bit and rock back a little bit until you find that point that feels just right, that feels very still, that feels like it has the most resonance in your spine. And when your body feels like it's still and open to experience, you can stop rocking forward and back. And then you're going to sway from side to side a little bit and see if you can open and find more openness, stillness, more resonance here. Find that sweet spot, front to back, side to side. Again, check in with a space when you allow the back of your head to lift, elongating the back of your neck so that your chin and neck are floating in a natural way. Your tongue is floating, your mouth is relaxed. Allow your attention to be in the back of your eyes. And rest in your posture. Notice if there's any tension in your body. Allow that tension to release and let go. Let the energy dissolve downwards, taking all tension with it. Feel the earth underneath you. Allow all the tension of your body to dissolve into the earth underneath you. So you're feeling a steady stream of tension from your body going downwards to the earth underneath you. So feel the release of tension, particularly in your shoulders. Let all the energy of your body, let all the tension flow down through your feet, through your buttocks, through your knees, and into the earth. So you're relaxing completely, you're letting go completely. And letting your awareness stay in your body. Opening to the places where you're holding on. Allowing the tension to let go. Letting the energy flow down. So there's a constant wash of downward flow of tension through your buttocks, through your perineum, through your knees, through your feet. It's a steady flow down. You're relaxing, letting go, melting, releasing. There's energy flowing down into the earth. It's almost as if your buttocks are melting into the earth. Let your attention rest in your body. Listen to your body. Notice if any adjustments are needed for your posture. Your body will tell you if there are adjustments needed. And taking one more moment to open to the somatic experience of your seated posture here. And then when you feel ready, you can come back. Okay, so we have a bit of time here if you'd like to speak about your experience with your meditation practice tonight or during the week. And listening is always a valuable experience in our circle as well.
So I have a funny story of something that happened, which was I don't think we were much farther past the buttocks and the bowl of the pelvis. My poor husband, anyway, he's been under a lot of pressure. He's been working a lot. He's been sitting a lot. And today he's felt like his disc is just about to come out of alignment. He has a degenerative disc. So anyway, I think you said the bowl of the pelvis. And I heard him vocalize, but he didn't say a word. It was just kind of, sat up because I thought, oh no, like what if he's on all fours and he can't move? So I sat up and I ran downstairs and he was okay. I said, are you all right? And he said, yeah, why? I said, well, I heard you. I thought maybe your back went out. And he said, oh, I was trying to sneeze without letting it go. That's what he was doing. I said, okay. So Anyway, and I came back upstairs and I was like, oh, guess this is part of my practice. And, you know, then I just settled in, and it took some time to settle back in. But I was able to, and then I liked the transition up to seated. I liked that very much. But when we initially started to release all the tension, I felt this really nasty like fist going in my mid-back where I've had chronic pain. I don't have the pain right now because of a procedure I had in July. But as soon as it came back, I thought, oh no, is it back again? And then I let that thought go. I said, I thought to myself, well, who knows what's happening here? And then when you talked about just the water falling and everything melting and melting, I thought, okay, I'm just going to let it melt away. And then it did go away. So it was interesting. Like, I don't know if that was just, you know, the echo of the pain, that's the trauma that's been in that site. I was feeling again, because it just felt exactly the way the pain is when it's there. But I'm pretty happy that it's gone. Yeah. So tonight's practice was a whole journey for me. Up and down in my body, up and down in my brain, up and down the stairs. It's good. It was a good time.
Full on.
Yeah.
That's pretty powerful with the pain, especially with the memory of pain, and then coming back with the way that you remember it, right? You can go into those old patterns of like, oh no, not this, right? Which then can create this.
Yeah.
And so to be open to it and to let it move through is really quite powerful. You know, who knows? It could have been this, and then I could have hung on, but yeah, there was that openness, and it released. But sometimes the oh no, not this can be much more painful than the just this, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Not to discount anybody's experience of chronic pain.
No, but what I was grateful for was my reaction was not what it would have been a couple of years ago, which would have been, oh my God, the pain's back. Everything I love about my life is gone now because of this pain. Like, oh no, I'm back in this spiral again, you know?
Mm-hmm.
This was like, oh no. It was more like, oh no, I guess maybe I have to call the doctor. Maybe I have to take all of these steps, but it wasn't the end of the world, at least.
Well, what I heard was, it was like, well, what I heard from your practice was that it was like the same as the pain in the big toe, right? You explored it in that way. Yeah.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah. You let it be like that. That any pain can be. I choose the pain in the big toe because I think, you know, most people don't have pain in the big toe that's personal, right? They're not walking around with the story about their big toe. Most people, or their elbow, or, you know, like, for the most part. I mean, I think some people have had toe surgery or whatever, but for the most part, there's not a huge personal story around the pain in the big toe.
That gives me courage that when the pain does come back, I can deal with it in the same way.
Mm-hmm. If the pain comes back.
If the pain comes back, true enough.
Because like what I used to, when I first discovered this practice, is like, you know, the body we are unraveling layers of tension, and then the body just can't go back there, you know. You guys know, although you're uncovering stuff, you're just not uncovering the same stuff. That is true too, right? You know, like the pain in the shoulders, it's just not coming back to the same level, right? That kind of tension that you used to carry around in your body isn't there to the same extent that it used to be. The stuff that you're uncovering is sort of this deeper level stuff now, you know. It's new level stuff. It's not, you can see when you look back that you're moving through, right? You're not dealing with the old stuff, and your body isn't going back to those old levels of pain.
And you're learning new way that you're learning to deal with it better. That's what I find in my own practice, is when I feel the tension building up in my shoulders or in my thoracic spine, where I usually get my pain, I breathe through it, and try to let that go down. And I found that it's working. I mean, I did change my meditation cushion where it's not so built up in the front, it's more on a slant, and it seems to work better in my body. But I also feel that when I notice some of the tension building, that we've learned new skills. So as we feel the tension building, you also releasing it, so not letting it build up to that level anymore. I mean, that's what I find for myself. So and I am sitting a lot better these days. I was when we sat up on our cushion, I was able to almost find that same level of when I'm laying down, almost. And I was just there, and I could feel, at first I thought it was the vibration of the ground, but I could feel the blood moving through my body this way, and it was really interesting.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's so cool to see you guys opening up to sitting now, because at the beginning it was like, no sitting, no, never want to sit.
That's how I felt at first, to tell you the truth. I'm just like, no, I like
you're like toddlers having temper tantrums. And now I know that you're ready to sit, because when I do those like little reflections at the beginning, when I'm not even saying you're sitting, but you're actually sitting, you're all like, I'm good with sitting now.
That's when I first actually noticed it, that when we were sitting at the first, I was perfectly fine. I was centered and right there. And you don't really leave
without even letting you lie down first.
No. That's wonderful.
Sometimes you have to be sneaky.
That's the trick. Just spring it on it.
That's right.
No time to think about anything.
Yeah. No. Thinking will get you nowhere.
No. That's getting in our heads. We're too much in our heads as it is. Oh.
Yeah, I felt the same as Maria. It's like I came up just seated, and I'm like, actually, this is pretty bloody good. Yeah, like I feel a little bit. That whole meditation was just so relaxing, and now I'm meditation stoned now, for sure. It's just a really nice, spacious kind of experience. So. Yeah,
it's nice to have those days.
It is.
They sustain the difficult times.
These are the carrots.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it was all suffering, you wouldn't be able to do it, right? You wouldn't.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No. Not unless you're some sort of masochist or something. But
yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, it is nice to have these sort of more just relaxing, and because I've had a bit of a mixed bag the last couple of weeks. Yeah, it's all good.
It is amazing as soon as that moon tips over, right? Even just like one day after, it's like, whew, oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm hoping I can sleep tonight.
Oh, that must have been why I had insomnia.
Oh, yeah.
What we learned from Michelle.
Yes.
Yeah, it's true though. The whole energy just shifts.
It's just immediate.
Yeah, it's like, now we float.
Yeah. Oh God, I prefer this phase.
Can we
Do you know
just
anybody who
this?
prefers the other phase that like really likes the build energy?
Yeah.
You like it?
Yeah, I do. I think because I'm quite a busy person, I just find it a really productive phase. Like I find I get so much more done with less time. So I try and plan my busyness and all things that have to be done during that period and seem to just go better. And while I'm doing those things, I enjoy them. And then I enjoy the downtime. But if my pendulum goes too slow, I get the same feelings as I get that when I'm too busy. I get the same level of stress and overwhelmed just because of the emptiness. So for me, the pendulum is kind of got to be like in the middle, but probably maybe just a little that way rather than a little that way. I like both, and I do enjoy that. It's like new moon, new start, new projects for the month, kick them into gear, and I like that side of it too. But the full moon I do find a bit challenging because I love my sleep, and I tend not to. I sleep, but I dream the most weirdest dreams for like 3 days. Like the amount of dreams that I can fit into one night would take me a lifetime to explain the next day. So that's always interesting. And I have found recently, the last few weeks with the somatic meditation, I do sleep a lot, and I'm a person who probably my sleep is my core thing. If I don't have my sleep, nothing else functions. I probably normally sleep for 9 to 10 hours a night on the norm, but definitely 9 hours a night. But the last sort of 3 weeks, I've found that some nights I've been sleeping up to 12 hours. I've been really quite tired, but I was listening to what you were saying in one of our earlier talks, and I'm just like, well, my body must need it. And but even though I've been sleeping more, in the past I would have panicked as like, oh, that's 3 hours out of my day now. But I'm not even thinking about that, and everything's, I'm still getting to do what I want to do during the day, but I'm just allowing my body to wake up when it's ready to wake up. So,
Nice.
yeah, which has been nice, yeah. And the moon has been particularly bright here the last 3 nights. I'm not sure where it's been anywhere else in the world, but I sleep with the curtains open, and I woke up and thought, it's daytime already, but it was just the bright.
Wow.
Really nice. And with today's meditation, I think the cumulative effect of doing it so much, I don't know whether clocks maybe changed today. Maybe, I have to have a look. I tend to live in a bubble and not know what's happening in the outside world. But even although I just had like a little short bit at the end, I find with doing it so much now, I can go in and out deep, even for a short period. Yeah. And I was surprised at how quickly I was able to get into that space. And then when we moved to the seated, it felt really, really good. But there was a lot of tension, like the shoulders and all around here. I just felt like this big piece of metal that just didn't want to let go, sort of like over here. So that was interesting, having the feeling of relaxation and flow, but having like a big chunk of metal as well. It was like both experiences at the same time. So, yeah. And I just started menstruating today, so it's normally quite an emotional time for me. So I was a wee bit teary during this meditation today, but just sort of let it flow without trying to cling on to, you know, oh, why is there a tear there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's nice to lie down with everyone again.
I think when you have the practice on your own and you come up with there's something like that presenting so strongly, like the metal, you can either press pause, or when it's done, pause and stay with it, you know. So one thing that I've been doing at the end of my practice is pausing and staying with just being still at the end of my practice and seeing what's still present. You know, is you know, kind of the question that I ask is, where am I still holding on?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, or am I finished? You know?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's, you know, it's not like what the recording's doing or whatever. It's okay. So then that would probably been that for you, and just to stay with it, you know, until it's whatever, if it wants to let it go a little or a lot or whatever for you today. Because that can just taking, you know, I think we have this tendency that, okay, practice is over, okay, you know, we're out the door already. But, you know, just to take that moment at the end of our practice to check in, and am I done? You know, check in with our body. Is this enough? Am I done? Is this finished for today? You know, is our practice down to the wire so much that there isn't 5 minutes at the end? You know, and I get it. I have those mornings. I'll get up in the morning and think, okay, I can do 30 minutes somatic meditation, a 30-minute practice because I have 60 minutes. Well, really? Because then there's no space at the beginning to give myself space to set up, and then there's no space at the end to, you know, it's like somatic meditation and then this other practice and then off, right? But what if I just did the somatic meditation, and then I can lie down quietly, and then at the end I can check if I'm done, and then I can be with the practice and contemplate the practice a little bit. It's a way different experience. Mm-hmm. So, you know, and which one do you think is more fulfilling?
For me, it's somatic meditation.
Yeah, or even if I just did the 30-minute yoga practice too, right?
Yeah.
Do the practice. I'm not saying that one's better than the other. I'm saying what's more beneficial is giving myself the spaciousness to have the experience, right? And to not be rushing from one thing to the next. Because it's in that really you're just reinforcing those patterns that you're doing all day in your practice, where you're trying to disrupt those patterns, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of think of my practice, whether it's meditation or yoga, as being open-ended.
Mm-hmm.
So it gives me that space to go, well, am I finished?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, no. Do I want to come back later or keep going, whatever?
Mm-hmm.
I do have the luxury of not having outside commitments most of the time. But I think I was thinking about this before, even if I did, you know, have to go to work outside the house or have kids or whatever, I'd still have that open-ended, because I just don't think, I don't feel it's right to put that kind of constraint on myself.
Yeah, I think there has to be some spaciousness around it, because if there's so much time pressure on your practice, there can't be a spaciousness for it to sit. Like, think about even the way we structure a class. A yoga class, there's that space at the beginning, the way I structure a yoga class. There's that space in the beginning to lie down, and there's a space at the end to lie down, right? There's that bookend. So when you're coming to your meditation, it's like you have to create that bookend in a way, right? Because you can rush to your mat and then you can rush away. And if you're not bookending it for yourself, then there's no space for the integration of the practice, for the reception of the practice. Yeah.
And what I love about this practice is like I try and like it spills over into my daily life, you know, so like in the morning I'll do a body scan before I get, you know, like out of bed. But I find that if I'm standing in the kitchen doing something now, like before I wouldn't even been aware my body was getting tense because I was chopping wrong, so I'll adjust. Or the other night I was chopping some garlic and I couldn't, you know, get the peel off, and I could feel my body like tensing and getting stretched. And I said to my body, for goodness sake, you know, you just can't get the peel off the garlic. It's, you know, it's not the end. You know, a tiger. You're reacting as if you're going to either, you know, chill and peel it, or don't peel it. Use lazy garlic. Whereas before, even if I had felt that, I would have pushed through it. But I physically can't now. It's like my body just, it's as if my body now is like, you know, I'm here now. You've asked me to have a dialogue with you, but you got to listen. And I was brought up to be so polite. So if I was in front of people and I needed to go to the toilet or I needed to stand up, I would have put my discomfort before politeness and sat through it. Whereas now my body's like, no, it has to move, so it'll get up and it'll move. So for me, I see that like what we do on the mat is like reinforcing the foundation patterns and all those neural pathways that you talked about. But it's actually something now that just flows through my whole day. You know, yesterday, like what you were saying, it was a bit of a busy day, and I know I was supposed to meet a friend for a walk last night. But I said to her, like, I just need the hour on my own. So I just took the dogs on my own and walked around the farm on my own and, you know, looked at beautiful trees and, you know, could just, you know, things, just letting them come up and going through. Whereas again, you know, a few months ago, I would have been like, oh, my friend will think I'm really rude and I'm placing myself above her. So I would have stayed with the commitment. So for me, I like the way that it's sort of organically just growing. Yeah. And even I'll be walking and doing things, and some of the things that you said when you're lying down that maybe at the time didn't really mean anything or kind of was a bit, you know, too bush. And then it'll be just one little sentence and I'll say, that was what Melissa was talking about. Or, you know, it just, and what I really love is just the talk afterwards, you know, and beforehand as well, and the teachings, and just being with other people that are doing that practice as well. Because although I have conversations with like other girlfriends, no one else is doing the somatic meditation. So while, you know, they might be using their own tools to do their own things in their life, you know, I'm kind of like, yeah, you know, you sit, lie down, and then they go, you know, they start, oh yeah, you lie down on feet, and then they're kind of like, and they're like, oh, there must be more to it than that. And I'm like, there is, but you know, that's where you start. But until people have experienced it, they just don't really get it, I suppose. Yeah.
So I think what Emery is talking about, and then we'll say good afternoon and good night for now, is the and we kind of talked about it at the beginning, but then she took it to the next step, which is where you are engaging in your practice. At the beginning, when I talked about hearing the teachings, and really there's only a few of us who kind of get it the first time, but the rest of us are all stupid and we need to hear it 20 to 30 times. So that's just, you know, that's just true. We need the repetition. And then what Anne-Marie was speaking about was that where it seeps into our lives is with the contemplation, right? That's our practice during the week. You know, when we reflect on the teachings, we think about what we've heard through the week, and that's just as important as listening to the teachings when we think about how it relates to our own life. And that comes up for us all through the week, you know, when we live our own life experience and we think, oh yeah, that was just like this, you know, that was like when we were talking about this in class. So that's just as important. It's a very part, these three things, you know, hearing the teachings, contemplating them, and then doing the practice. All these three things are important for you. They're like three parts of the practice. All these little pillars that come together. So I will see you next week. The following week, the 27th or the 28th for Michelle and Emery, I will be traveling that week. That is our March break. And I will be on the road that day, so I will not be giving a class on the 27th/28th. I have put it on the forum already. I will put it on again, but I just wanted to make sure I said that in class as well a couple of times. Okay. All right. Have a good week, everybody. And we'll see nobody here tomorrow, I don't think. But
See you tomorrow.
you will? I will? You won't be at work?
I don't have work tomorrow. Do the blizzard.
Oh, the blizzard. Oh, you get a snowstorm.
No day. Yay.
Okay. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow, Maria.
See you tomorrow.
All right. Namaste.
Namaste.